600 new apartments are opening in downtown Long Beach right now. The city is headed into 2027 with a $61 million hole in its budget. A new Fed chair took over last week. And in 6 weeks, a state law overrides Long Beach zoning near the Blue Line stations, whether City Hall likes it or not. That is May 2026 in Long Beach real estate. None of it makes the national headlines. All of it matters if you own, plan to own, or plan to sell in this city. Let's go through it. Most monthly real estate updates tell you what the mortgage rates did and what the median price was. That misses the actual story. Rates and prices are downstream of city budgets, state laws, port volume, and the specific buildings going up 6 blocks from your house. The people who win in Long Beach over the next 18 months are reading the upstream signals, not chasing the downstream numbers. I track this market every month from inside it. Today, 8 stories that you probably didn't catch. What's happening with the Fed and mortgage rates? What's happening locally with our city budget, our small businesses, and our renters? And what's coming from Sacramento that lands here in 6 weeks? All of it connects to your house, your offer, or your timeline. Stay with me. Story 1, the Fed held, rates held, the chair changed. The Federal Reserve met April 28th and 29th and held the federal funds rate at 3.5 to 3.75% for the 3rd consecutive meeting. The rate decision was unremarkable. The internal split was historic. 4 governors dissented. The last time that happened at a single Fed meeting was October 1992. 1 wanted bigger cuts. 3 wanted the easing bias removed from the statement entirely. The committee is divided in a way it hasn't been in 3 decades. And then last week, Kevin Warsh was confirmed as the new Fed chair on a 54 to 45 Senate vote, the most divided confirmation in Fed history. He took over May 15th. Here's what that actually means for Long Beach buyers. The 30-year mortgage is sitting at 6.37% as of mid-May. Warsh is seen as more open to rate cuts than Powell, but inflation is running at 3.8% right now. The Fed's target is 2%. Markets are pricing in less than a 3% chance of any cut before year-end. Most analysts are saying late 2026 or 2027 at the earliest. A new chair doesn't mean rates are about to fall. The rate lock paralysis that defined 2024 and most of 2025 is still the dominant force in our local supply picture. A generation of Long Beach homeowners is sitting on sub 4% loans and is not moving. If you want the full breakdown on how to actually think through rate timing, I did dedicate a video on that. The link is in the description. For now, the rate environment isn't changing fast. But what is changing is the supply picture downtown. Story 2, 321 West Ocean just got bigger. On May 7th, the Civic Center Master Plan picked up its final piece. The development at 321 West Ocean, formerly the stalled mid-block project, came back with a redesign. The original plan was 580 apartments. The new plan is 729. That is a 25% jump in unit count on the same downtown footprint. And the mix shifted. Fewer studios, more 1, 2, and 3-bedroom homes. That developer read the demand signal. Long Beach needs family-sized units, not just micro rentals. This sits on the former Long Beach City Hall site. It's the last component of the Civic Center build-out that has been in the works for 15 years. When 321 West Ocean completes, downtown finally finishes the urban core it's been promising. If you own in downtown, Alamitos Beach, or the East Village, your area absorbs 729 more rental households. That's rental supply pressure on existing landlords. It's also a denser, more walkable downtown that supports the retail and restaurant activity within walking distance of your unit. For condo owners specifically, more downtown residents creates the foot traffic that holds up coastal premium pricing. Watch for recycled inventory from owners chasing the new product over the next 24 months. Downtown is gaining 729 units, and the question is whether the city can afford to service the population that fills them. That's the next story. Story 3, a $61 million hole. The city released its year-end budget review, and the numbers are sobering. Fiscal year 2025 closed about $40 million over budget. The city drained roughly $20 million from pandemic-era reserves. The 2027 deficit projection has now landed at $61 million. City Manager Tom Modica has already told departments to find non-essential savings. Service cuts in 2027 are the working assumption inside city management. The general fund, where this fight actually happens, is about $750 million. So this hole is roughly 80% of the money the city actually controls. The city's official line is that the deficit is short-term. They're projecting a return to a surplus by 2029. Mayor Richardson called it one tough year to get through. Maybe, but one rough year sets up for a lot of political pressure for new revenue sources. We have a primary election June 2nd and a general election November 3rd. Watch what shows up on the ballot. Property owners pay Long Beach taxes, expecting street maintenance, code enforcement, parks, libraries, and a certain level of public safety response. When that money tightens, services thin first. Then the conversation turns to revenue. Pay attention. Quick pause before story 4. I'm Beatrix Whipple, owner of the Whipple Group, longtime Long Beach resident, realtor, athlete, and sourdough enthusiast. If you want to learn more about Long Beach and what's actually happening in our real estate market, make sure to hit subscribe. If you're considering a move to Long Beach or trying to figure out which neighborhood actually fits how you want to live, I put together a free Long Beach relocation guide that walks through neighborhoods, commute realities, and what you actually get at every price point in this city. The link is in the description. It's genuinely useful whether you reach out to me or not. Story 4. RenterAid just launched. On April 23rd, the city launched the Long Beach RenterAid program, $2.7 million in rental assistance, alongside an existing $1.5 million in eviction defense funding, up to 1,000 low-income households. The next application window opens June 5th, then monthly throughout the year. The city also just launched the Older Adult Shallow Subsidy, $1.8 million, serving 150 senior households on fixed incomes. A youth homelessness prevention program follows in July. Why does this matter on a real estate channel? The rental side of Long Beach is showing strain. The city is layering on $4.5 million in RenterAid on top of reserves already drained. For housing providers, eviction defense funding now sits in front of any unlawful detainer you might file. That changes the timeline and the legal cost of removing a non-paying tenant. For investors looking at small multifamily in Long Beach, this is the regulatory direction. Build it into the underwriting. For sellers of duplexes, triplexes, and small apartment buildings, the buyer pool already prices this in. The math will keep tightening. Story 5. Long Beach restaurants are telling you what the economy feels like. In late February, Long Beach Eyes ran a piece quoting Carla Montesinos of Los Reyes, one of the most affordable Mexican spots in the city. She said directly, if 2026 looks like 2025, they won't stay open. And she's not the only one. Lucky's, Adalberto's, Sands and Wolves, mid-tier restaurants across a range of price points are reporting reduced traffic, menu cuts, and shorter hours. The drivers are tariff-related food cost increases, federal immigration enforcement hitting foot traffic in immigrant-heavy neighborhoods, and a broad pullback in discretionary spending. For real estates, restaurants are a leading indicator. They tell you what neighborhood vitality looks like 6 to 12 months before it shows up in property values. If you lose your anchor restaurants, you lose one of the reasons people pay coastal premium pricing to live there. Add them the way that Cal Heights and Zafaria have, and you build pricing power. Meanwhile, the city recognized 22 new Long Beach legacy businesses at the May 5th council meeting. The Level Up LB grant program is putting $10,000 behind 20 small business owners. The city's trying. The structural pressures are also real. For sellers, a corridor losing restaurants slows your absorption rate. A corridor gaining them gives you a window to list with momentum behind you. Story 6. SB 79 and AB 507 hit on July 1st. That's 6 weeks from now. 2 California state laws take effect on July 1st that override how Long Beach controls its own land use. SB 79 forces higher residential density within half a mile of qualifying transit stops. In Long Beach, that includes the Blue Line stations along Long Beach Boulevard from Anaheim Street up through Wardwell. It includes major bus corridors. Cities can apply their own design rules, but state law takes precedence on density and use. LA Metro voted in January to formally oppose local implementation. The law still takes effect July 1st. AB 507 takes effect the same day. It streamlines approval for adaptive reuse projects, conversions of existing commercial buildings, often offices, into residential. A developer who controls an underused office building near the Civic Center, near the Long Beach Boulevard corridor, or near transit can now move faster than ever to convert it into housing. The Blue Line corridor, the area around Wardlow Station, and the older office stock around the Civic Center all get pulled into a different development math overnight. Pacific Avenue, Long Beach Boulevard, and the immediate downtown core are where you should expect new entitlements filed in the second half of this year. For homeowners along the Blue Line or near major transit stops, this is a long-term tailwind for land value. And for buyers, this is one of the reasons inventory over the next 24 months may look very different than the last 24. And 6 weeks out is not the only deadline that matters. A smaller one hit last week. Story 7, permit fees went up May 20th. The Long Beach Community Development Department posted notice that permit fee adjustments and valuation increases took effect May 20th. If you've been considering an ADU, a major renovation, a new build, or anything requiring a permit, it now costs more to pull that permit. The valuation increases matter too, because permit fees are calculated as a percentage of project value. Both the fee schedule and the underlying valuation moved. Long Beach has been a statewide leader on ADUs. The city issued 747 ADU permits in 2024, a record. The second round of the city's Backyard Builders Loan Program is open right now, helping lower-income residents finance ADU construction. ADUs work in Long Beach. They add rental income, they add resale value, they unlock multi-generational living, and they help close the supply gap. If you own a single-family lot in Cal Heights, Bixby Knolls, Belmont Heights, Rose Park, or anywhere with a generous backyard, an ADU is one of the highest return improvements available in this market. The fee schedule is on the city's own website. Talk to your contractor or architect. Story 8, 600 units downtown right now. Alexan West End, the largest residential development in Long Beach history, hit initial occupancy this month. 600 units. Studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. Average unit size is 767 square feet. Final completion is scheduled for March 2027. The developer is Trammell Crow Residential, owned by Crow Holdings. They sit on a 5.6-acre parcel north of the Hilton Long Beach and the World Trade Center, a piece of land they paid $29.5 million for back in September of 2022. This project nearly didn't happen. It was entitled years ago. It was supposed to break ground in 2023. It failed to break ground in 2024 because the capital stack wouldn't pencil. In March of last year, Kennedy Wilson funded a $166 million construction loan, and an unnamed life insurance company added a $34 million mezzanine loan. And the project finally got out of the ground. 600 new rental households are arriving in downtown over the next 10 months. And that's a meaningful supply-side shock to the downtown rental market. Asking rents on the new project will set a new ceiling. Comparable older properties either invest in upgrades or accept a discount. For owners of downtown condos, this is the test of whether coastal premium pricing holds up against a wave of new luxury rental product. For sellers considering a downtown listing, the next 12 months are when you find out which buildings actually compete. For buyers waiting for downtown inventory to grow, your moment is approaching. This is the single most important development in Long Beach right now, and it's happening this month. Here's where I'll leave you. Long Beach rewards people who come prepared. 8 stories this month, Fed dissent and a new chair, a 729-unit Civic Center finale, a $61 million budget hold, a RenterAid expansion, restaurants under pressure, state density overrides in 6 weeks, a permit fee increase that already hit, and the largest residential development in city history, opening right now. May 2026 is a transition month. The macro forces are stuck. The local budget is tightening. The state is forcing supply, and the buildings are actually getting built. The people who pay attention to all 4 lines at once will make better decisions than people watching only the rate ticker. If you're still researching Long Beach, grab the free Long Beach relocation guide in the description. If you're ready to talk specifics about your house, your timeline, or your move, reach out directly. I personally respond. Hit subscribe. Real numbers, real market, no noise. I'll see you in the next one.